So, I just finished playing Halibut. It's a point-and-click adventure game with a main character who has a fairly meh life. There's nothing exciting going on, really. He doesn't have any grand ambitions that consume his entire life. He's simply a reactive character who doesn't really do anything he wants, but because other people tell him to. He's a bored, dull character who has no purpose in his life. Seems kinda depressed, but I'm no psychologist. I'm not gonna diagnose him. And everyone treats him like he's simply a nuisance. This is one of the slowest games I've ever played. Actually, one of the most meandering stories I've ever experienced. You spend a good 3 hours just kind of running around this ship with a crew of people who escaped Earth because it's becoming uninhabitable. So, even with how wishy-washy what your time this game gets, why do I consider this a little hidden gem of a game? Well, to get to that, we'll start with the major plot points of Halibut. We're in a ship deep beneath the sea where Harold is being summoned for an unpaid fine, and the Major is being very strict with him. He's mad that he's wasting his time reminding Harold to not be such a bother to the people on the ship, telling him he doesn't understand what the professor sees in him. During his wait, there's a weird man with a Gundam V-fin hair on his head on the TV making an announcement for later about what they found out. Harold is excused as the professor asks for him back, and it's too important to ignore. During their walk back, the professor berates him for always getting himself into menial trouble that should be above a guy like him. If he wasn't such an airhead, she wouldn't be so annoyed with him.
Harold, I'm not sure which is worse. The idea of you living with your head in the clouds or never being excited by life. Only boring people get bored.
And with a callback to Futurama, we travel tube our way to the lab. We run into the most beloved teacher on the ship, Chris, for a chit-chat about what the announcement could be about. But before we get to that, Harold has to clean the ship's filter system so the fish don't die. On his way back, he runs into Cyrus, or Cy for short, as they talk about his job making the nutrients for the fish to grow appropriately. We learn the ship is named Fedora as the announcement go live. All Water Corporation lets us know we may never see the Earth, but this new underwater home of theirs is more than sufficient. The Earth is uninhabitable, so they took a ship and flew 200 years and arrived on a water-filled planet filled with poisonous gas. They have an idea for a device to go through the hazardous parts of the planet, so they may leave the water. But the people are doubtful that any of this will work out. There's plenty of nonsense that needs fixing on the ship that their resources would be better spent there. Harold has to resume his job as the professor's assistant. Really, all he has in his life is just running basic errands for the professor. And they're errands that just about anyone can do. And the entire game is like this. Just one big fetch quest where you walk around the ship to solve other people's drama. While you do your job well enough, this isn't enough for Harold. He wants more. He wants a sense of purpose.
I wish I cared more about things sometimes.
I just want to do a good job. But I don't know what that is.
I know what you mean. I know what my job is, but actually, I don't always know what it really means to do it well.
Every now and again, you can visit the postman, Buddy, and he'll share with you letters about other people on the ship and their relationships. It's one of the few long side quests in this game, but my favorite. You learn about what people think of friendship, love, and what brings meaning to their life, all the while getting quite an emotional payoff for the next side quest involving Buddy. It's so good that it's the only side quest I'll mention in this game. Eventually, there are some mysterious unfoldings. There's an old message from the people of Earth that was hidden from the crew. Harold wonders if there are other messages All Water is keeping from them. With perfect timing, Harold and the professor are summoned to meet with All Water. The ship is in trouble and they need to figure out a way to get it out of the water sooner rather than later. Harold is tasked with watching over Cy to make sure he stays on task, with making a device to save them all. In a surprise twist, All Water reveals that the Earth is now fine and dandy, and urges everyone to get to work for their eventual return immediately. On top of that, Felix comes to Harold to reveal some hidden knowledge. He shows Harold an underground passage to eavesdrop and the hidden plans of All Water.
Time is money, and I can't spend time on empty chatter.
Surely you don't want to rely entirely on Cyrus.
Trust is low as the CEO doesn't have any faith in Cyrus, and went to the air conditioner guy, Slippy, to solve the relaunch problem on his own. As Harold goes to bed after telling the professor what he just witnessed, an emergency alarm wakes him up. As he checks the ship's filter system, a mysterious, fishy, human-like figure emerges. The professor analyzes Fishy as Harold spends time around the ship, eventually running into his ex-girlfriend, Sunny, as he asks her for fish medicine to try and heal Fishy. But he has to be careful about this mysterious creature being on the ship, and has to make sure he doesn't have a slip of tongue. Another meeting is underway for Cyrus to demonstrate the progress he's made. To his surprise, his model didn't work as tested. Slippy excitingly uses this screw-up as an example to make him the lead on the project, and gets Cyrus kicked out of the project entirely. In the bathroom, a mysterious voice convinces Harold to get the professor's camera to make an RC car so they have a spy camera to spy on the CEO, and Slippy to make sure they aren't cooking something bad under everyone's noses.
Oh, hello, my lovelies.
He rushes to tell Cy and the professor about what he just found out. They've got to keep their lips hushed and continue Cy's project out of sight in a hidden part of the ship. After a few days, Fishy wakes up with the only sound it can make is wee-oo, so Fishy is now called Wee-oo. The professor rushes Harold to get a book from Chris's classroom so he can teach Wee-oo how to communicate. Chris is confused why Harold needs a kid's book, but he figures Harold isn't right in the head, so he couldn't read a more difficult book anyways. As he skedaddles to the library, Harold watches over his kids.
Where do babies come from, Mr. Harold?
Slowly, Harold takes on the task of teaching Wee-oo how to speak English with the book Pineapple Hinge, and suddenly...
Oh, I can understand you.
I can understand you!
A montage takes place as Harold and Wee-oo becomes the best of friends. They learn where Wee-oo came from, and their home may have information on a particle that could advance their research. They take their submarine and travel to their home as Harold is the first person to meet these people. As Harold takes his leisurely time, the professor calls him to hurry his bum up. He's taking way too long. Wee-oo tells him of a hole in the ground where people have gone missing, but no one's explored down there yet. He goes to the library where no one is quite sure how to access the knowledge stored there. They hint at Harold of what to do, and he shoves his head into a bubble as he starts to get a bad LSD trip of information from the bubble book.
Once you know there's more, happy isn't the same, is it?
True. I guess I haven't been happy for a while.
As Harold arrives back home, he excitedly tells the professor of what transpired, but what he didn't realize is that there was an extra prying ear listening in on them. With their secret out of the bag, all water makes their way to the fish folks and begin to form an alliance. Wee-oo brings everyone together so they can improve their plan to return to Earth, but
Buddy and I would often share a jog together, and despite his age, he would always give me a run for my money.
Once Buddy has passed, he's given Harold one final task. It's a side quest, but it's one I definitely recommend taking on. You have to deliver undelivered pieces of mail around the ship. Most of the mail are people trying to repair past mistakes, and you learn of the struggles of your fellow shipmates.
Good job, Chris. You nearly had him there.
I gave him a real challenge, eh?
You okay?
Yeah. Thanks, Harold. I mean, really.
Same to you, Chris. That was very entertaining to watch.
Buddy, making us both smile even now.
Once things settle down, Frank brings Harold to his secret hideout where they try to infiltrate and stop All Water's super secret plan to control time? Yeah, there's a weird time control plot here. But when they confront Allwater, there is no super secret time control plan. The watches with different times they notice aren't anything magical, but a practical lie Allwater has been telling people. The ship takes up more energy than they want to admit, so over time, they decided to reduce the amount of daytime so they could turn off the ship and conserve energy. To do this, they've been shortening the clock in small increments so no one would notice. After some more errands, they conduct a way for someone to make their way down the giant hole in the ground. And their nominee? Why, it's no one but our fair Harold. But for the most pragmatic of reasons, everyone else is too important for a potential suicide mission. Yeah, you heard that right. They're willing to risk Harold dying, since he's the least important one of them. Talk about having no purpose outside of being fodder. Of course this dude is miserable. The people here hardly care about him. They just need him to take care of the dirty work nobody else is willing to put up with. You can be depressed for any reason, and being in an environment that puts you down like most folks here will do that to you.
I'm not doing it because it's cool. I'm just doing what I need to do.
I know.
After throwing Harold a going away party, Wii and him venture down the crack, and it's quite a hallucination. Harold appears back on the ship, but now the game is in a 3D perspective instead of the usual 2D side-scroller. He runs through a bunch of books before getting a serious case of deja vu back to where he and Wii U first met. Only, it's not Wii U in the tank, it's Harold. He wakes up like from a bad dream, but he shouldn't be here. Felix interrupts his confusion as the world around him begins to shift, as if being eaten by a black hole. There, he sees his room multiplied by 4, orbiting space. He closes his eyes in one of the rooms. It's the all-water facility. He makes his way forward. Everyone you've ever ran into begins to surface. There's a strange painting on the wall as everyone stacks a bunch of packages for you to carry. But Harold can't carry the weight. He collapses as he falls into the abyss.
What am I doing? I don't know. I should know. Maybe someone should just tell me like they always do, whatever and whenever they want.
Are you being... what is it you call it? Scartastic?
It's just so pointless, isn't it?
Some of you humans seem to have no blugalugalagal.
Luku. Gah!
Ah! It doesn't matter. Maybe you don't even have a choice.
Doesn't matter. No choice. No one ever truly knows how I feel, how anyone feels. So, what actually connects us? Everyone wants something different from me, or I need something from them? It's so exhausting keeping track of it all. Have I been useful at all? What have I really done? This whole time, people have only given me stuff to do when they haven't been bothered to do it themselves. Has there been anything that only I was able to do?
So you're helpful. What's bad about that? You make the lives of everyone around you easier.
But anyone could do that.
I don't think they would give you things to do if they didn't trust you.
How does anyone trust they're making the right decision? About anything?
I don't know. Maybe we can't know. So why think?
But if we don't worry at all, maybe the whole point of not being sure is that it keeps your options open. If we were sure about everything straight away, we'd never change our minds. So, true Blugalugulu is being happy within uncertainty. More or less. It's beautiful.
It's making me feel sparkly. Harold, take my hand.
Sure. Are you scared?
No. Come on, with me. Jump!
With the two back at the surface, they give out their energy source as they try to explain what happened down there. But bad news strikes. Something's keeping them from getting back safely to the Fedora, but their new energy source powers a new submarine to swim back. The ship is all covered in ice. The professor and the crew are trapped as Slippy's machine was trying to freeze the ocean so he could create a giant winter sports event.
Are you going to help me or just stand and watch me suffer? Please witness the future of Fedora. So you see, that's the Slippy difference.
Harold and the gang hack into the computer to make their way to Slippy.
Look, let's not be hasty. If I could just show you my plans, I was only trying to...
I'll show you a plan!
Eesh.
Oh shit! My hand!
They begin to panic as they believe they've used up all their time and missed their time to launch. But with the revelation of the mismatched time on their clocks, they realize they have way more time than they believe. When they're making preparations to return to Earth, Harold puts his foot down for once in his life. He can't make the journey back, for no reason other than he's never been as happy as when he's with Wii U, and that's all he needs, to be with someone not because they need him around to fulfill his duty, but to be with someone who wants to be around him.
I would love it. But are you really sure? Won't you miss everyone else more than you want to stay here?
I'm sure. I've always gone with the tide, but now I want to break out of it. Choose a tide for myself, and not the one that leads up into cold, empty space. It's the first time I've ever really been sure of anything.
I believe you. You found your Blugalugulugu.
Yeah. Luga Luga Simbo.
Blugalugulugu Simbo.
Jeanne, I'm not coming.
Okay. It's only natural you're emotional. I suppose I can finish things up by myself.
No. Professor, I'm staying with Wii U.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Can you understand?
Harold, I've grown terribly fond of you. But if I've learned anything about you, it's that you always defy expectations one way or another.
So, you're not angry?
Angry? Dear boy, I'm delighted. I will miss you like I miss my left hand. But if you finally found something you feel strongly enough to shout Jeanne at me, then I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm gonna miss you too, Marone. You've always been there for me. I wouldn't be making this decision if it wasn't for you.
Well, I guess this is goodbye.
Yeah. Guess it is.
Be safe, Harold. Wish us luck.
I'll do one better. I'll wish you good times.
Very funny.